Hello and good evening. It's time for Wednesday PLO Mayhem. So, I'm Kyyberi. This is Romania's PLO coaching. We have this shared crowdfunding stuff going on. Today we have slightly over $200 in our bankroll. So we are playing with PLO20 in the start. Probably have to open PLO10s because there are only 4 tables of PLO20 action. And might be that it takes a long time to open 4 tables, so I'm waiting for PLO10 tables too. Here on table 1, or the only table, we 3-bet, we c-bet. And we have the full house there on the turn. The funniest thing is that we represent aces full. So when he calls the turn, he might have ace-jack. So I have to shove. In case he have the flush, he might not fold it. But if he has a full house, he's going to call us anyway. Yeah, he had ace-jack. It makes sense. But on the river, if I check, if he shoves, it's kind of hard to fold. And we know he's a call-happy player. So, there's the first buy-in. And if we lose 3 or 4 buy-ins, then we definitely drop down to PLO10. But there's only 3 tables open in PLO10 and 4 tables in PLO20. So we just have to wait. So first hand, first buy-in down. Let's hope the run changes during the coaching. Now we have 3 tables and we are going to open the 4th, whatever it is. I don't have any specific topic in my mind what we should talk about today, so if you have something in your mind that you want to discuss about, feel free to use the chat. And for those who want to comment the hands, or when you are commenting about the hands, please say the table number 1, 2 on the top, 3, 4 will be here on the bottom. Say what table number and what was my hand, so I can find the hand. We have around 2-minute delay for security reasons. And we've got 3 pairs against someone's min 3-bet over min open. I'm just going to pot the turn. Because they shouldn't have a strong hand, but they have a ton of draws, so it's for protection. And the 4 kind of sucks. But he shouldn't bet his overpair, so I'm probably check calling because he has a lot of misdraws in his range. And he mucks. He had just an bottom pair, and wow. I'm going to give him a green, calling with the cut shot for a pot-sized bet. And on table 2, when he checks the flop, it's really probable that he has just missed the board and gives up. And that's happened. And here we have queens. I don't like to 3-bet over the min open. Just call and from the flop we play with our odds. And here we have the cut shot and a nut flush draw, enough to call any bet. And with this action we actually might be in good shape with our pocket queens here. And of course we call, and we kind of hope these guys call too. The more players we have on the pot, the better our equity is, or equity share. And on the river we have nothing, so yeah, he can steal the pot. And we have two limpers here, so I'm happy to limp with this type of hand that might hit something. Normally I want to open, but I don't want to play multi-way pot with this hand. If it has any stronger possibilities to hit the flop, then of course we open. But this is quite marginal. And now when we have big open from the shorty, we have to pay €1 in the pot of 3. So definitely call. The other shorty might come along. And he shoves. Yeah, now we get it in. We need like 25% almost to call. Actually, we need under 25. So it's an easy stack off. And we actually win something. No, we lost 2.5. Oh, now we have 5 tables open. Well, I'm going to keep the one here outside and see which one we take. But here we had 45 pre-flop and we needed 25. So it's an easy call after the shove. Ace is on table 4. Too bad there's nothing going on. Oh, it's PLO10 table. I'm going to actually put that one aside and take this PLO20 in here. And as we have these really bad players on the table, I'm just opening for pot hands like this that when we hit we can definitely value bet. Here we have top pair, and if someone has 2 pairs we have a lot of outs. And after the bet we just have to call. If his range is on the draws, 2 pairs and better, we have the equity. Of course it's not a great equity, but I think folding would be bad here. And he has a wrap. And we win. So we had 31 on the flop. And we need it slightly over. Something like 35. Here we make a full house on the turn and Archipurchi calls. I'm going to bet the river beak. Either he has a bluff catch or he does. Oh, we don't have the full house. Oh dear. For some reason I really thought I had a jack deuce, and that's why I bet the flop. And when I had this thought that I actually have jack deuce, I didn't check my hand on the turn and I had jack 4. Oh dear. But, oh come on, he called turn and river big bets with just the top pair. I'm going to make a note. Damn, I hate to make notes when it's hard. Jack x2 to x turn or river. Big bets finally. So session hasn't been going on with really profitably. And here we flop middle pair and flush draw and some backdoors. I'm going to call this one. When the turn goes check, 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 he knows no one has the flush, so he might value bet him, but it's 50 cents, so he might be staying. He's really aggressive player. And he had a straight, but it's such a small bet that I really want to show him that I can call him, and 2 BBs in the pot of $5 or €5, it's good. And here Nickerton bets the river. He's really aggressive, and he didn't bet the flop, he bets the turn bit, now he bets the river. There's a lot of misdraws. Of course, he might have a strong hand, but on the turn he knows no one has a set. And when our hand actually improves a lot, I think we have to call, and he had just a misdraw. Flush draw and open ender. And we pick up a nice pot there. 7654 deuce offsuit said that good evening all Omaha Masters. I read that good evening all Omaha Hamsters. Here on demo 1, Ruby draws the flop. Queen then gets there. We have one queen which blocks some of those outs, and we have 2 pairs, cut shot and a flush draw. So I'm going to bet for value because he has a lot of flush draws in his range. And on the river, 9-10 gets there. And I'm not sure he's going to call me with worse 2 pairs here. So I'm going to check back. And he has just pair of aces. He's probably not going to call my river bet anymore. So there's no value. If the river doesn't complete any straights, then I would value bet the river. Here on table 4, we 3-bet pre-flop with 2 callers, and I'm going to make a really smallish raise. And he has a flush draw, straight draw, wrap or flush draw for sure. And he shoves, so okay. That min donk was to induce something really strange min donk. As if he checks, I would bet actually more as a C bet, so he can more value. On the outside table we flop the nuts and we get the money in on the turn when he check raises us. And he has the same with the flush draw. So he was slow playing his straight. Min donk, well I can call, we have the straight draw, we have some backdoor stuff, we even have the middle pair. So let's make a call down, and he has pocket queens, really strange min donks. On the outside table we actually bluffed a small pot, but I'm still out on the PLO10 table. On table 3 the plan was to call and just see the flop because we have this huge calling station here. But this works too. Gut shot and bottom pair and flush draw. And when he calls, I don't think he's folding a ton. So if he has folded, I might even check raise against him because it's hard for him to call. And half a pot bet size, he probably doesn't have a strong hand. But when he is in the pot, he can have almost anything, and he's not folding. So let's take it slow. We have enough equity to call and just draw our stuff. And we don't have 5 deuce, which would be nice, so we just have to fold. Top 2. Definitely bet, and we have 2 backdoor flush draws, and 5-6 gets there, but his range is super wide, and we have the flush draw. So I'm just potting the turn and shoving on effectively, and he calls. Luckily we make the full house there on the river. And he has just an overpair and stacks off, which is nice. On table 4, the idea was to make a small check raise, as I would do with bluffs on these boards. Probably have done against him because we have over 100 hands with him. But on the turn we have to bet and hope he bluff catches. But strange thing that he c-bet 70% and he doesn't c-bet that board, which is awesome board to c-bet. I'm 3-betting to isolate this aggressive player. He's not going to 4-bet me with other than aces, I know that for sure. And here kind of nasty spot, because if we c-bet, it's hard for us to fold, and he donks for a pot. I'm shoving, because if he had jack queen, why would he donk for a pot? He might have higher set, but he also might have some jack 10 type of hand, so I'm just getting in. And if he doesn't have a set, I have decent, and he has queen jack, which is really, really strange. And I just can't understand why he donks for a pot when the board is rainbow. But yeah, we had 35% there. Here we have top 2 and the flush draw and the backdoor flush draw. I'm getting in. And he raises. We are only behind set, but even instead we have the flush draw. And he has overpair. And he makes the flush, so we were flipping against him. He had 45, we had 37, but couldn't hold. Kinda sucks. And here we have open-ender and a flush draw. Turn is pretty nasty one. And on the river we make the full house. Let's see if we can get some value, and we can. And he had the nudge on the turn. Here he c-bets €3 in the pot of 342. This big bet sizing probably means he has hit the board, aces or a flush. Earlier he didn't even c-bet the board that is good for c-bet. So I'm not making move. If he's a other kind of regular who c-bets all these boards with half a pot, we might raise him and make a lot of profit. But here I think he has hit the board. So we don't make moves. Number one, we make the nuts. Now the question is how to get value. Probably call in here. And then when he bets, we raise the turn. Of course, we wait for a while. And then we raise and we hope he has something. When it's a rainbow turn, we might actually call here. But I don't think he's going to barrel the river that often. Now he calls, probably has Jack 10 or a set. Or he might have 10-7. But mostly, if he's going to call, he has a bluff catcher. So we can definitely use bigger bet sizing here. And he folds, so might have Jack 10, open-ender. Yeah, the donk is... actually, if he donks... because he thinks that I think it's a weakness, then it's probably a good play. But other way than that, he doesn't have to protect his hand against anything. So he can check and give me an opportunity to bet my aces. And when he check raises, I'm often committed. But of course, this time when we had a set, it doesn't matter what he does, the money goes in on the flop so often. Here we flop over pair, and on the turn we pick up the flush draw. I'm going to check against Archipurchi. River is good for us. We beat all the two pairs. And he bets 170 in the pot of 640. We have to call this one. And he has pocket kings. Wow, he's overplaying his pairs. Number 4, we got super lucky. We hit the trips with the flush draw. Let's hope someone does something stupid, but they don't. Archipurchi is really strange, like why bet kings there? Queens is the only hand that can call him, that he can beat, and if he checks he can make me bluff the river when the board pairs. Yeah. He's winning our money, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, he's calling with any pair. In the long run, we are definitely going to make a shitload of money from these type of players, but in one session, anything can happen. Here on number 1, there are so many coin stays on the table that I'm paying 1 BB for my hand, and I pick up the nut flush draw with some backdoor straight outs. And we make the nuts on the turn. Woo! When he checks, we are definitely betting here. But if he bets, I'm probably raising, because either he has a set or a flush, or he's just folding no matter what I do. And I hope he has a queen high flush, and he calls me here. And he folds. Too bad he doesn't pick up a hand when we actually have something. Here on table 2, I see bet the flop. Half a pot should be profitable against any normal calling range. But when he calls tight player, that's when we shut down. Now he bets we fold. If we had a king high flush, it would be a really nasty spot, because he has nut flush in his range a lot. Table 3 have to see bet. Truth Serum is marked aggressively because of his pre-flop aggression. Post-flop he is not that aggressive. Hasn't check raised ever, only 5 shots, but flop aggression 33. So yeah, he's playing pretty passively on the post-flop. And here on table 4, this guy makes a 2 BB donk bet. Of course we're going to call, but when someone raises the Truth Serum here, that's when we give up. And here we get a 3 bet from Itukandi. We are really deep, but our hand is super bad, but I'm going to call and see the flop because we have position. Just hope he doesn't make a desperation shove. And he doesn't, but we don't hit the board. But if it's like Jack 7-7, we have nice implied odds against this one. So tempting to bet, but yeah, let's give up. Here we make the full house on the river. But what can we beat? Fuck. And we actually folded the hand. I was sure that I have time and I'm going to press the call, and I did press the call button before the timer went 0, but seems that there's a delay on the buttons, so should have used the timer. I should have called, because if we raise, there isn't any hand we can actually beat. Or he shouldn't have. I don't think he's calling, or he would play the nut flush in that way. So he has a bluff, or he's just inducing with a really strong hand. But yeah, we should have called. Too bad the timer. Really tricking us. Here we flop the nuts, and I tried to check raise to make the pot really big, but thought about donking, but when we donk and we can call, there's so many bad turn cards. And we couldn't check raise. So here we are. We have to call and hope the river isn't the heart. It's a deuce. Now let's see his bet sizing. 220 half a pot. That bet sizing I'm going to call. And he has the nuts. And here he's betting the turn smallish, so he never has the straight, but we have a really good hand to just call him down, at least on the turn. And river goes check, and now Either he gives up or he has the higher overpair. And he has the straight, wow. 3-7. Hits his cut shot in the river. Oh, we had him 77 on the flop, 63 on the turn. And Rolfam is asking that 6 weak odds that. Well, it depends how much you have hands on your opens or how much do they play. The thing is that most of the players that play on the micros doesn't evolve in any way. Like there are players that have played 3 years on the same limit and they don't get any better. And those who do get better, they move up from the stage. So if you're playing PLO10, PLO5, PLO20, then for sure just keep every hand. It's hard to get big sample size out of anyone. Archibald makes a mean donk. I just want to raise him and hope he is not tricking us. But with this line he shouldn't have ace in his hand. Probably calls me with pocket kings now. And he folded, which is nice. But if you're playing PLO 50, PLO 100, PLO 200, then there's a lot of regulars who play a lot of hands on the stakes. And they actually might get better. So then you might just filter like 6 weeks or whatever. The winner is pretty aggressive post-flop, donking 62%, 16 out of 26. So we know that his donking range is wide. And turn aggression 51, 53. So when someone is donking that high, then the ways we can adjust and attack him are we can float in position. Of course, when he's donking, we are in position. And see on the turn if we can bluff or if he checks and gives ups, or we can start to raise him with wider range on the flop. He hasn't check raised much, but of course he doesn't have opportunities. Well, 19, and he donks again. I'm just raising him here. If he re-raises, he has a hand. If he doesn't, he's folding. If he's calling, he has a draw. And he just donk folds. Here we hit the pivot card, but this is something that, and we should, I'm going to call once. And I have no idea what our odds are. Can we call here? We can probably get a free river, so now we have to see that there are 30 or something turns that improve our equity. Well, 10 is not one of those. We do have the cut shot to 9, but other than that, it's no good. And I'm interested to see what is our equity on the flop. 0.18 and 21, so we were flipping against him. And sitting out here, but when he bets big on the turn, he probably has the straight. Or should have. Here we have 2 pairs and we have 2 shorties and he's a shorty, so I'm going to just get it in with two pairs. I do have ace king as overs, and they shouldn't have strong hands. And I have to stack off with these shorties, which I'm doing with my range, and the only problem is this one. And they all fold. Here he is thinking so long that he doesn't have a strong hand. And this is a perfect river card to make a bluff. He thinks I have a misdraw and with value. And he had a top pair, open ender and a flush draw. I have no idea why he didn't see bet the turn. Should have done it. This time he actually had a monster. We will have the flush draw and the pivot card here on table 4. Let's see what turn is. Turn gives us the third nuts. And then we bet the river big. But no action. On table 3 I'm opening for a pot just because of this Finnish calling station. Of course these both come along. Kinda sucks. We pick up the top pair and open ender. Do we have... Oh, he donks for a strong. Well, of course we're calling. Then we make the straight. And now let's see what happens. Oh, he bets big and he calls, so I'm out of the way now. With that line, he should have the straight. But regarding the Rolfem's question, of course, when you have notes, especially written notes, you should always, when you start a session, check what notes you have on them, and then during the play, just keep an eye on the notes that aren't correct anymore. Because people might change their gameplay. Like if they have a huge lead, they might see it on the video that, oh, I shouldn't bet full pot on these situations. They might change it. So always monitor your notes. And sort of question, like here we have that mini donks with try queen queen on h7 board all the way. When he does it again and he has the nuts, we of course write it down that he does it on the nuts. And so on and so on. So it's a bit late that if you make a note out of one hand and then you just assume that it's the universal truth for that player, that he always does that thing in that spot. The note tells you that he has done it once, but it doesn't mean that he's doing it all the way. Table 2, 2 pairs, easy open. Sort of flop that has a lot of folding equity against. We might actually see bet smaller, save money when we get called. Now we have the blockers, but we have a calling station who donks for half a pot. Now the question is, can we draw our flush? Is 9 or 4 and out? Probably not. Really strange donk bet. But his turn aggression is 53. People do really strange stuff here. And he shoves. And everyone calls us on this board. Wow. Here we make a small raise. We're risking 130 to win 170. We have huge odds. And he folds. And he had a set this time. 5-9 deuce deuce. That's why he's marked as a green player. Plays with really, really strange hands. And here Archibald makes a limp 3-bet. I'm just folding. Yeah, he got 2 BBs from us. Congratulations. Green line is behind the yellow, and every line is below 0. Here on table 1 we can set mine. Here on table 2 we sort of set mine. We make the flush, so I'm actually making a small value bet on the river. Hope some sets or straights call us. And he does. So he probably has 5-5-10. So he had a set. Oh, he had a straight. Here I'm not bluffing this calling station. He's just calling us anyway. On table 3 we make the set. Turn sucks, but he has a flush draws in his range. So I'm going to bet, and if he raises, then we see, do we get the odds with our set and cut shot. I don't want to check here, because then he can bet his missed flush draw. And now, do we get more? His river aggression is... I bet the turn, so... I'm representing this trade, so I make a really small, kind of blocker bet. And I want him to raise. Other option is to check, but I think this might work actually quite often when he's, if his river action is actually this high. And at least he's thinking. And he does raise. And of course we're only going to lose the quads or aces, and he shouldn't have aces, so we stack off. Now we don't have to think. If he has air, he's folding. If he has full house, he's calling. And he folds, so he probably had just an air, and we actually pick up $9.50 as value instead of just betting the river. And he's just cursing probably at, oh man, what a donk. So often, when I'm facing a river decision, especially out of position, when I have a strong hand, I'm often, or even with medium hand, I'm often seeing what is our opponent's river aggression frequency. Because there we represent the straight, every draw misses the flush draw from the flop. If we check, he might try to bluff our straight. And I make a really small bet, like a blocker bet. And if he is 36-22-9, if he's this type of player, he understands the small bet and probably thinks that, oh, he has a straight and he wants to have a cheap showdown. And it worked. If I had checked, he would have probably bet anyway, but we got more value this way. Finnish player doubled, set versus draw. Oops. Ace 10 King 5. Yeah, top pair and not flush draw versus top set. Nice hand on table 1. And we totem sport. Winner has folded 80% to C bets. So yeah, today he has been really giving us pain, but overall he folds a lot. So I think our C bet is profitable here. And he calls. I'm barreling the turn. Of course, his range is super wide. He might have 2 pairs or small sets, but he's not going to call us with just a flush draw. And Josper is asking that, like here when Texas Walker raise folded the river, do they have blockers or pure air? I would say that it doesn't depend on their blockers. They have blockers as much as it's probable in, I don't know how to say, but they don't have blockers any more often than they should have, even without the bluffs. So when they are bluffing the river, they don't think about blockers. I don't think that on PLO20 in here, probably no one thinks about their blocker effect on the opponent's range distribution, like how often he has the full house here if he has a blocker compared to not having. They are just thinking about the situation sort of one-dimensionally. So he feels that with my bet, I don't have full house, I'm trying to make a blocker bet with straight, so he's raising to make me fold my straight. Of course, if I had a straight, I would never make a blocker bet against aggressive opponent. Here against this V-winner, we are definitely calling top pair, over pair. And he makes a small, I'm going to raise him. And 3, not that big, 430. Sort of 50-50 raise. We can make him fold a lot of equity. And if he calls with 2 pairs, he shouldn't have much. And if we represent 7-8, I think we have a lot of folding equity here on the river. And he calls and he has 7-8. Wow. Wow. That is strange. Well, now he owned me. Either he's a genius or he just slow plays because of habit. I really thought that he might have a set or two pairs often and just doesn't want to fold the turn. Because it looks weird, but yeah. Couldn't believe that he might actually have the nut straight on the turn. So VPIP 71 is crushing me. Now here he donks. Probably if this Itokandi folds, I'm going to raise because he donks 62% of the time. But when he calls, we are out of the hand. And here this guy raises, so I'm just folding my open-ender. He's an aggressive one, but now we have two pairs and open-ender. And here we can stack off with aces. I'm going to call because he's an aggressive one, and I'm going to call the river. Here we have half a pot on the turn, so the money goes in. The board is really bad, but we have to shove. And we actually get in a nice shape, and we hold up. What the? Yeah, he had a cut shot. Wow. Even his cut shot has 37% against us. Here I bet the turn beat because Archipurchi is such a fish. And yeah, he had just a flush draw. So we almost double up with aces, which is nice. And this isn't good table. We have really aggressive player and calling station. It's really hard to play on the table when on every hand you have an aggressive player and calling station on the same hand. In this situation you are sort of tied to your hand strength. There isn't a lot of moving or room for moves and bluffing versus these guys. Other one is giving a lot of pressure and the other one is never folding. So I'm going to find a better table, which we don't have. So I'm going to join a PLO10 table. Here I bet and he calls. I know that he's probably going to call with a lot of stuff, but now the flush comes there, which really sucks. So we are probably not beating anything. He might have a king. If he shows with queens, it's really strange. Yeah, he had a nut flush draw. The problem here is this, that he calls on the flop with nut flush draw, but he cannot value bet it. So if he hits the flush and I bet the turn, he has to call. So I don't like his call with the nut flush draw. Better is to raise it and make me fold a lot of equity. Yeah, I'm going to close this one. And we pick up one PLO10. Table 4 seems to be dying. Here someone 3-bets. We have a premium hand if he has aces. So definitely we call. We flop nothing, so we check fold. But he's stacking off here with any aces, so we have huge implied odds. Let's see the flop. Bottom wrap, middle pair, 2 backdoor flush draws. Table 1 with of 2 pairs. Power of 2 pairs is probably, or the biggest value of power is that we block a lot of strong hands that can raise us. Here we don't hit our wrap. And I'm just going to give up. Texas Walker donk bets doesn't make really sense, so I'm making this 50-50 raise. Hard for him to continue, unless he really has a strong hand. Because there aren't any draws on the board, so when he calls he has a king in his hand. He might actually have the set, so when he calls I'm giving up, but he has to fold half of his range for me to make profit. So yeah, it's super profitable for us to raise. Now when he calls, he has something. And I would say that he has ace king or some kind of king in his hand at least. And he has 2 pairs, a3. I think that when he calls my raise with bottom 2, it's really bad. Because now I was bluffing him with queens and I have 37 on the flop and he has no idea. Any turn that isn't 3 or 8 is bad for him. So I don't think he should call. Either raise me if he thinks I'm bluffing. Because he cannot make a call down with bottom 2 anyway. Yeah, we sort of missed the board. We have a cut shot and 2 backdoor flush draws, so let's hope for a free turn. Which comes. I'm actually going to raise, because Archibald is the only one who can have a hand. These two shouldn't have even a queen in their hand. And Archibald makes these small donks so often on the turn. So I'm just giving him pressure. And he folds. Here, if we raise, we can get €3 shorty. I'm going to make the raise. Kind of real crappy aces, but I think he's going to fold often enough to justify. And on this board, we just see bet fold. It's a really scary board, but if he has something that doesn't hit this board, he's going to just fold anyway. And when he insta calls, I don't think he has 2 pair or set. So I'm forcing him to play honestly, and I just shove here. He has a lot of draws, and he folds. Because if he had a set or 2 pairs, he would have thought what to do. Should he raise or something else? When he just calls, it really looks like a flush draw. Or something like that. He doesn't have to think about what to do. Now we pick up the wrap and hijack donks for pot. I'm going to call because we sort of want this winner to be on the pot. Kauris is late again. Here we have overpair, try is board. And we have to, if he has a set, we have the odds. If he has the flush, then he has the flush. And he doesn't have, he has just the bottom open-ender, so we were ahead of him. 90% favorite with the draw. That is something. And that's why we don't fold the turn. Wow, that's a really loose stack off on the flop. Let's see what happens on table 3. This Texas Walker potted the turn. We have the king blocker, so he has the nut flush or air. If he has air, why bet big? And this guy, oh yeah, he should have, or he has a nut flush blocker. Oh, we have like half an hour left, 20 minutes to half an hour. So if you have any questions related to poker, PLO, poker Armenia, whatever, please use it. We actually make a straight on the river. I'm actually going to make a value bet here. Because they shouldn't have flush. No one bet the flop or turn. So they might call with, out of curiosity, or they might call with set 2 pairs. Often when we are pretty sure the opponents don't have the flush out there, and we have blockers to the nut straight, I think we can make a small value bet, especially when the pot is small. Of course, the odds are same if the pot is big or small, but 40 cents is so small amount of money in real money that people are just making calls. And I can make a lot of profit there. I'm going to isolate this aggressive shorty. And if he calls, we're going to stack off on most flop. Of course, now the fishies call, so probably best thing is that if he shoves pre-flop. But our hand is crappy then. Yeah, he does. So now we can actually make almost EV0 shove, because it's their call, they have just a lot of equity. But he folds a lot of dead money in the pot. And let's see if our hand holds up. Oh, it does. Wow. 37 pre-flop. 36, 27. Interesting. I don't know why Archipurchi stacks off their King Jack then deuce. Same suit. Ace King 7-5. Wow. Here we pick up the middle pair and a wrap and a flush draw, and we have everything. We have probably a head of set of threes for sure. And finish nahkalishu donks. Now, do we get more value by raising, or do we get more value by calling? When we have two callers, I'm just going to shove because we dominate the other one so often. If we call, of course, if the straight completes, we have a lot of implados, but if the flush completes, it's hard to get value and we have only the second nut flush. And then we make the set. Let's hope the opponent has something. And he calls, probably a flush draw or weak made hand. Definitely value bet. Of course 5-6 got there, and he raises, he has 350 behind, so I'm getting in. People have shoved like ace-7 type of hands here. And if he does have the nuts, then we have to suck out. And he has, and we don't suck out. Here we make the nuts with the redraw. Nice, oh, he has a set. And he makes the full house, but we make a runner on a full house. We were 65% favorite on the flop, so justice is served. Oh, it's PLO10. Oh, damn. I thought it's PLO20 and he's 50 BB short, so I stacked off 100 BBs. But yeah, I think stacking off with aces is fine there. And here we actually make the set. And he has a runner. Oh, nice turn. Doesn't make his straight. On table 3, we pick up the open-ender, really aggressive opponent. I don't want to raise him because he's just getting it in with almost anything. And we make the nuts with the redraw. So I'm no reason to be tricky. We just bet, and on the river, not much value there. He had a full house. Because there's not much hands he can call us on the river if we bet. But like there, calls a pot size bet on the turn with, oh, he had a flush draw too. Okay. I was going to say that just calling with 2 pairs is really bad, but he had the flush draw, so it's okay. Table 1, decent hand, bad position against 2 opponents, but he folds 80, he folds 76. Of course, the winner has been just owning us today, making almost perfect decisions on every hand. Not sure if he can call, but I don't think he can call here too light because he has player behind him. So it worked. It's important to remember that if the board is scary for you, it's as scary for the opponent. So if you 3-bet aces and the board is 10-9-8, and you think that, oh man, I totally missed the board, it's so scary. If you check fold, opponent can bluff you so often, but when you bet, it's scary for the opponent too. Really nice turn here. We make the nuts with the redraw, but Nahkalisu doesn't bluff us. On table 4, we might actually 3-bet, but he's a 50 BB shorty. And there's another 50 BB shorty, so I'm just calling here. We have kings. Pretty nice if we hit the top set, a lot of value. And he donks so smallish. He has made these really small donks 60% of the time now. So I'm not going away. Now we have the blockers. The only problem is this one, because when he calls he probably has something, but have to bet. So good spot, because it's a small donk, he might call with all kinds of trash. Now he raises, so he has ace king. So much for the blockers. And we get a 3-bet from active guy. 3-bet queen 975. We call. And we don't flop any. If I had any ace in my hand, I would stack off versus him. But he checks. Tricky. Now we have 2 pairs, flush draw and gut shot. Now it might get interesting. Against him I'm not worried, but when he's in the hand, well, at least he gives us great odds to call. So now this call is bulletproof plus EV, so no reason to make moves. And we might actually win the showdown. Yeah, king jack jack. And he had king queen 9-6. Ace ace king queen ace ace jack then. Well, it's not about opinion. It's mathematically in a heads up, but ace ace king queen double suited is the best hand. If there's 3 or more players, then ace ace jack then double suited is the best hand. Because ace ace jack then can make straights. But in reality, ace ace king queen or ace ace jack then double suited both are #1 hands. The premium of the premium. Not flush draw on table 2. In a multi-way pot, not flush draw is a really nice hand because it's so easy to get the odds for calling. And now if we go 4-way all in, it's plus EV for us. So often in multi-way pot, you don't have to fold your not flush draw. So it's quite easy to play. No reason to overplay in multi-way pots, but easy to call with. Now when he folds, yeah, the flop call is minus EV, but we have implied odds. He probably checks and then we can bet the river if it doesn't pair. Not sure if he can call with anything. And now we bet and hope he has something to call us with. And he just folds. And I'm going to fold because here comes the 3-bet. If I call, he can 4-bet, and our hand cannot call 4-bet. If we had jack 9, 8, 7, then we can definitely call here because we don't have to be afraid of the 4-bet. But when we have a pair in our hand, it's kind of sucks. Now here he pots the flop, so I'm just going to fold. King queen 9-6. It has to be his lucky hand. He has queen 9 on every hand. He has 3-bet so far. King queen jack then double suited is probably the best hand according to playability. It's quite easy to play post flop and it's going to hit quite often on the flop. Either you have probably a strong hand or then you have just a king high. So with king queen jack then you are never flopping something mediocre. The worst you can hit is just an overcards and a flush draw. But most often, if you have 2 pairs, you have open ender. If you have 1 pair, you have ton of backdoor stuff. And now there's a big 3-way all in. Corky has so far probably raised or tried to sub any hand. So when this V-winner calls the pre-flop raise but folds to 3-bet, it's kind of bad for him. And Corky is just printing money with random hands. I'm just limping because when he raises we can just call, and we have the stack depth to have implanted, but when he raises it kind of sucks because he's going to 3-bet more often and we have to fold to that. So this V-winner's small bet is really bad. Whatever he has, it's bad. Because if he has a strong hand, bet bigger, you can shove over his 3-bet, and if he doesn't have a strong hand, why raise and give him an opportunity to 3-bet? But VPIP 72, he's not the greatest player, and now the money goes in. And he has to shove if he has a good hand. And he just calls. Wow. He doesn't think about the situation. Corky's range is super wide. Jacks, doubles. I'm going to actually fold. What did he have? 2-2-5 more, yeah, with that hand. But why raise pre-flop? Just leave back, let him 3-bet. But it might be that he is not following the action at all. That's the most likely reason. Here I folded double-suited jacks to 3-bet because I'm going to miss the flop often, and if I have jack-high flush draw and overpairs, if I want to play that aggressively on the flop, he's going to dominate me quite often. And we cannot call with just a set value. And he keeps on making those min raises. Well, I'm not going to cold call these 3-bets. But I just don't get it. Why does he min raise against his opponent? I don't know what he's thinking here. Should be pretty easy to play against this one. And min raise once again. Wow. He's just giving money to this aggressive guy here. Middle pair, cut shot, backdoor stuffs, and curl in action checks. Probably wants to check raise with all kind of stuff. I'm going to check here and see if turn improves me. And we get half a pot bet. I'm going to call once. We make 2 pairs, great. And river kills our hand. But when turn doesn't come with any straight, so he shouldn't have 2 pairs that often. He might have a lot of misdraws, so I'm going to call this river bet. And he has 9-8. Wow, he had a 9. But he can probably bet a lot of misdraws. If he has overpair, I think he's going to just check back the river. And we make a set here on table 1. Now the thing is that can we call? I mean, can we bet? Yeah, I'm going to well, he has checked not straight against us. Can he slow play? I'm going to bet fold this river. I don't think he's going to raise us with adequate hand, and he had a flush. But I think he has calling range, he has smaller sets. Oh, the aggressive guy has left here. He has smaller sets in his range, and he might have two pairs with ace. So I'm happy to bet the river this time. He had the backdoor flush, of course. Double suited aces, and we pick up the overpair and the flush draw. Especially against regular, I'm stacking off here. If he has a draw, we are crushing him. If he has two pairs, we are flipping. And if he has a set, we have 35 to 40% equity. Clock is 10:30. We are going to play around 10 to 15 minutes. And then we are going to close the session. So far I have no idea if we are winning or losing. We have nice stacks on the tables, but in the beginning we actually lost a few buy-ins. So I have no idea. If you want to make a guess, feel free. Overpair and a flush draw. Let's see what Crash Poker does. And small bet. I'm going to raise him. And just make him fold. All kinds of overcards. Or hands that can make two pairs. And whatever. Like Ace King Queen has a lot of equity against us. And turn doesn't change anything, so we are stacking off versus him. And when he thinks we are at least in a decent shape here, and he just folds. Number one, we have the middle pair and the cut shot. And someone pots, so we just fold. Now we just wait. No one has made any bigger questions. There's a couple of questions from Rolfam and Ulos Pro. I was trying to remember, have we had any interesting hands today that we might look in the end, but I can't think of any. There's the one hand where we actually folded full house on the river because the timer went down and I pressed call when there was 1 second in the timer, but software is so bad that it doesn't count. So I have to remember, if it goes under 10 seconds, I should press the timer button. We have a nice hand on table 3, of course. We have ace king queen of the same suit, so we are blocking almost every possible flush that can call us if we make it. But still, strong hand. And when he calls, I don't want to shove. We have calling station, so I'm just going to call and let's see if we hit the flop or not. No one is going to make moves on us. And against this shorty I'm stacking off here with 4 overcards easily. And he has 2 pairs actually. Wow. Ace, king, 6 deuce. Wow, poker is so easy. Open any hand, hit the flop, make profit. I'm actually shoving here because V-winner shouldn't have aces or kings, so we are ahead of him. And now we can get it in versus 2 shorties with sort of nice equity. And what was the end? Oh, we won actually $1. Well, if I call $6, he calls, the pot is going to be 24 or $20 at euros, and we have 20 behind with him, so it's really nasty spot. So when I'm ahead of his range, of course, if he calls my shove, we are almost flipping. Might be like 55-45 versus his range, but it's the best option. Then we don't have to make guesses on the flop if we miss the flop. So just of course, if we had an ace in our hand, it would be even better, but he shouldn't have aces ever, and we have king in our hand. We are not that worried that he has kings, and if he doesn't have aces or kings, we are ahead. The first hand, when our opponent had ace-jack, the flop was... I don't even remember what the flop was. I can check it on the poker tracker if I can find it. If I remember right, the guy was the calling station. And here in a heads up pot, if not sure what to do, always make a c-bet. He folds, we win with pocket fives. If we check, he's going to bet the turn and we fold, so... Especially in a heads-up pot, unless you are really sure what to do, don't give up, don't check fold flops. Make a c-bet and you should make a lot of profit. No matter how scary the board is. Set mine in 7 deuce, 7 deuce. Well, 7 deuce, 7 deuce is kind of borderline. But as a thumb rule, if you don't fold double paired hands pre-flop, you are not making a huge mistakes. Because often they just have the equity needed. But with 7 deuce, 7 deuce, I would often isolate 3-bet. Because in a heads-up pot, it's a lot stronger than in a multi-way pot. And you're going to hit set 1 out of 4 times, and in multi-way pots, those sets are really valuable. Here we make top 2 with the flush draw, so definitely bet the turn. And just hope the heart doesn't come, but it doesn't matter what comes on the river. If opponent checks, we can check behind. If we don't improve, and we are just making a lot of profit. Couple suited queens. And we flop the effective nuts. Sort of regular-ish player, so I'm making half a pot C, but he knows I'm making it with wide range, so he might make a move or call down lightly, but he insta-folds. So it's one of those situations that probably no matter what we do, we don't get any action. Here, against one player, we could raise the flop as a bluff, but now when there's 3 players, it's so likely that someone has a king. I know I don't represent king, but he shouldn't have king ever. But yeah, so be it. Cold call, so he has the king. Yeah. And they both call. So the bluff didn't quite work. He might actually have 2 kings with that line. Wow. Oh, he had... There's the quads. And he had actually... Wow, he should have folded the river. He's so big when the guy raises. And he made a set of deuces on the turn. Every time we make a move, this V-winner has something. Such a strange guy. And when he calls, I'm just folding here. Because he's donking a lot. And he just folds here, didn't have nothing. Top 2 on level 1. And on level 2 I'm value betting aces against crash poker. If he has an 8, then he has the 8. And here I'm just... Oh, he had an 8. But he can have pocket kings and just make a call down. I'm stacking off versus the V-winner. Top 2. Definitely ahead of his calling range. And here, yeah, he has flush draw and live cards. 55, so he was ahead of us. Although we had the better hand. But they're aces versus quads, it's just have to stack off. And it doesn't really matter because someday he has the aces, I have the 8, and he bets 3 streets and I win the money back. So when you have the not full house versus quads, 100 pips deep, shouldn't be worried if you stack off. And if you have the quads and the other guy has not full house, don't be happy. Because in the long run you just didn't win any money. So now we have actually lost 1 to 2.5 buy-ins in the last 15 minutes. So if you want to change your estimation for the profits today, you can feel free. You might be close to break even. Here I'm going to bet the turn. Make him fold his flush draw. And if he raises, we can happily fold. Now 9 is really bad. Completes a lot of straights he might not have on the turn. But he had just ace king with the flush draw. Wow. 2 pairs on the flop, we winner bets. I'm going to call, and when he pots, kind of strong is we have the cut shot and the backdoor flush draw. But when he bets both, don't spot on the flop, I'm worried because previously his donk bets have been small, so I think he probably has king queen or set here really often. If I had just a bare king 8, I would fold against him, just based on his bet sizing. Okay, almost the last orbits have to end the session. I'm going to isolate 3-bet this shorty. And now, if he calls, we shove any flop. If he shoves, we just get it in. And he has ace 10 6 deuce, so we are in a pretty good shape. And he's drawing dead on the turn. And here I'm driven to isolate this curl in action, but yeah, guy calls, we are really deep against him, so. And we make the bottom 2 with open ender. Let's see what happens. Everyone checks, so I'm definitely betting just to protect my hand. And we make the bottom full house. I'm actually going to bet because if someone raises, they have better forehand, but can they have no they can't. Now the option is either to check the turn and hope someone calls the river, because I don't think either one of these players, 64-0 and 59-20, is going to bluff the river. So if we check the turn and river completely needs a flush, we might get value. Of course, overpairs get free draw to 2-outer, but I think we can have more value on the turn when the flush draw is still yet to complete. So if they want to draw the flush, they will call us on the turn. Here on the previous hand, if he had checked the turn, I would have bet. But winner actually has a hand. It's so strange that every time when he donks and we make some kind of moves, he has folded once, if I remember right, might be wrong. Every other time he has had a hand, and he's donking 56% of the time. So he's playing 37% of the hands, almost any hand, and donking half of the time, and against us making hands. It's so frustrating if in one session this kind of really, really bad and losing player actually hits everything against you. But you have to think that in the long run you are going to make money out of him. Someone asking, why do I have aggression, flop turn, river, and 1 at showdown? Flop turn, river aggression is to just have an overall idea of their post-flop aggression. Like, river aggression is basically on the river, if I have a hand, should I bet for value or should I check call as a bluff catcher? And flop and turn aggression is to see if he has any tendency. Like some players, we have, what was the player? Truth Serum is not on the tables anymore. His pre-flop aggressions are really high, but post-flop he's really passive. On table 2 I don't barrel on the turn because there aren't a lot of draws on the flop, so when Crash Poker calls, he probably has some kind of made hand. If there was a flush draw on the flop, I would barrel on the turn, but not now. And 1 at showdown is just to see how often the player wins when the hand goes to showdown in a non-small pot. So if it's high, I know he doesn't want to go to showdowns with bad hands. And if he has high VPIP and 1 at showdown is like 25 here, and let's say Tolkien88 has... Oh, we flopped the nuts with the Chilean redraws. Do we can raise? We do. Let's make a small raise back. And we get the money with the nuts. He has the same nuts and he has 8 high flush draw. We have 9 high. Total domination. Here I'm barreling against this guy. And we make the flush. And he has runner, full house. Jesus Christ. Yeah. What can you say? That's really frustrating. Thought about betting the river. If he has a smaller flush, he's going to call. But when he calls the turn, he might have trips or he has a made full house already. Let's see if he shoves again here. Now he folds. Gave away a lot with his bet size in there because some of the time he c-bets full pot on paired and monotone boards and some of the time that half a pot. So 1 at showdown, if someone has bigger sample size on showdowns and he wins most of them, then I know that the range he's going to be on showdown is really strong. Now we flop the nuts versus him. We are 150 BBs deep. I hope he has something. And he raises, so I'm going to shove. I hope he has a set of tens or some kind of wrap or... And he raise folds. Kind of sucks. In position, I probably would have called him. Because then he has to bet the turn before he knows what I do. But now if I call and check, he can check behind. And suddenly, if the river doesn't pair, we have some nasty decisions. and cross-poker shoves. I think he often has at least king with the flush draw. So we are just bet folding. The way he's playing, he probably has two pairs or set often there. Now, level 3 might have called with queens to set mine in a multi-way pot, because none of these is actually going to 3-bet often. Why would you need 500 hands on turn or river stats? I know that people say that to have reliable pre-flop stats you need 100 hands, to have reliable river stats you need 1000 hands. I don't agree. Even sample size of 1 hand tells you something more than sample size of 0 hands. If you see that your opponent has went to showdown with bottom pair, calling 3 streets with bottom pair, it is more likely that he's a calling station than he's a super nit. Of course, the term more likely or more probable, the difference might not be big, but even 1 hand can make the difference if you have a really tight situation. Now let's say you have sample size of 10 showdowns and he hasn't won any of those. He has gone to showdown 10 times and hasn't won any. Then you know that his showdown range is more than the nuts. And on the other hand, if he has went to 10 showdowns and won them all, you kind of might think that okay, he is going to showdown with the really strong hands. Here we 3-bet, or actually my 4-bet, and this guy calls. But now we flop the nut, so I'm just going to shove. He's calling station, he's going to call me with the flush draw if he has it. And if he doesn't have, oh, we put the money in. Now we have to dodge the flush. And we do. Woo! That's a nice one. And we make almost 150 VPs profit. Would have made more if this guy hasn't hit everything. That's a nice ending. And small raise. We have the open ender and 2 pairs. And this is... I'm going to call once. It shouldn't be a set because the board is so draw heavy. Might be queen then. The bet sizing is really strange on the flop. Yeah, he had a draw. So it worked. The thing is that he gave away that he doesn't have a set with his bet size. And of course, out of position, that might be an interesting hand to analyze more deeply what kind of rivers we can call. Because the idea was that if the river completes some kind of draw and he doesn't have it, he's going to check behind often. And if the river is totally blank, he's going to bet his bluff and I'm going to call. But there wasn't enough time to think what kind of rivers are sort of blank ones. Easy bets only 40%. This really looks like a pocket pair, so I'm going to fold. Here we actually make a straight on the river. So we have the second nuts. And I think we are going to value bet second nuts here. Oh, we don't have the straight, no. Oh dear. But on the other way around, if we check call the river now, this time the result would be the same. But yeah, I don't know how I mislooked that we have the second nut straight. That was my bad, sorry. But if it helps, when he actually had the straight, it wouldn't change anything, because if I don't bet, I'm going to check call when the flop flush draw misses. And 7-6. Yeah, he made it on the river. Overpair with the flush draw. Let's make a c-bet. I don't think these guys ever making moves on us. Ace queen 10 7. Now we actually make the top pair. I'm going to call here. See if I hit 7 or 10 or queen or clubs. Now on the turn, let's see what his bet sizing is. And he checks, and if he has aces, he's not folding them on the river. And he has kings with the higher flush draw. Wow. And 2-3. Yeah, makes the river straight. This Finnish Jormais specialized in river straights. Now I'm going to put out of post blinds. And then I'm going to find the first hand where we lost the buying with the full house. And let's see, should we have folded or not. Ace queen, I'm going to c-bet this board. Because if they don't have an ace, they are often folding. So half a pot bet, even if they call with any ace, any kings, any queen, any flush draw, with even any cut shot, this bet is still profitable. Now when he calls, we are just going to check back. And he had 3 of kind. But over 50% of the time he's not going to have 3 of kinds, and he's just going to fold his air. So where's the poker tracker? Okay, these are the results. Interesting. What do we have? Oh, I'm just going to fold. Last hand, ace king 9-9. Let's open it, see if we hit the nuts. Let's make a profit. Of course, this girl in action might actually raise us, but against him I'm just going to get it in, and we sort of make the nuts. let's see. Finyor 7 of diamonds is really bad turn, because it makes the straights, it makes the flushes. So if he doesn't have a straight or flush, we don't have to be worried about that. So I think we can check here and make the nuts on the river. Wow. Now I kind of wish he has aces or jacks. And I'm just going to bet B. And he folds, so probably didn't have much, but would be sweet, almost 300 BPs deep, to have the quads versus not full house. Has happened to me on the other way around. Here is the hand that we were talking about. Oh no, now we know his hand, okay. We make an isolation 3-bet, it works, and we flop the set. But the problem is there's ace on the board. So when we c-bet and he calls, it's kind of things that he's 55-14, so he's sort of passive one. Yeah, he might have flushes, he's low playing them. And when the board pairs, I actually think that we should check here and just go to showdown, because if he has a flush, why would we bet? Of course he's going to call flush, but he's not going to call the river. If we check, he's going to call the river. So against high flushes we get one street of value. It doesn't matter if it's turn or river, but he does have pocket jacks, ace jack in his range. So yeah, no. With this line we are trying to get maximum value from a flush, but if we bet turn, bet river, it really looks like a full house. So I think we should pot control and actually check call the turn, and then check fold the river if he bets the river. So yeah, shouldn't stack off, because we are we have a worse hand that we are representing, because we 3-bet 3-flop, we are representing aces full here. Yeah, shouldn't have stacked off. Here are the results from today. $36 profit. PLO20 was minus EV, and we run $13 over EV and $8 in PLO20, so about $20 over EV. And here's the last big pot. Without it, we would have been sort of break-even-ish. What is our graph for today? Kind of nice. And even BB. Yeah, this is the first, and we go down and then we climb up. So, not a bad session. $18 and some cents profit for you. So, I've had problems finding race first in. The way you do the HUD is, how do I do it? Is it in here? Yeah. When you, oh dear. Now these are pop-ups. I don't want to. Oh, there's the table groups. Well, here race first in. I have the race first in. Normal race first in stats, and from here you can select the position. And then just make one from early position, one for middle, one from cutoff, one for button, and one for small blind. So with any stat you can select if it's in all positions or if it's one position only. So that's how you make race first in for any position. Thank you. I'm done. Let's go to enjoy the rest of the Wednesday and see some of you on Friday when we have the Finnish PLO night, and the rest of you on next Wednesday. This was Porkrimania's totally free Wednesday PLO coaching. I'm Kyyberi. Hope you enjoyed, and see you later. Thanks and bye bye.